It is an annual rite of spring, bringing with it excitement and emotion that can be found in no other sporting event, the NCAA Tournament. Your wait is finally over, the brackets are ready, and the drama of March Madness is about to begin. Hello everyone, I'm Greg Gumbel, and this is the NCAA Championship Basketball Selection Show, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. Joining me at the anchor desk, as always, my partner, Clark Kellogg. We're all set to show you the seedings and pairings, so get out your bracket sheet, get those pencils ready. Here are the basics. Of the 65 available tournament bids, 31 are automatically given to conference champions. The tournament committee hands out the remaining 34 bids on an at-large basis. An opening round game will take place on Tuesday night to narrow the field to 64 teams. But before we unveil the brackets for this season, here's a look at the final top 25 media poll of the season. The rankings look a little different than they did last week. The UNLV Runnin' Rebels fell all the way from the number 17 spot to number 23.
That's not the direction you want to be going at this time of year, but they're a strong enough team that I believe they can turn it around.
Also, a new team has fought its way into the top 25. The Arkansas Razorbacks are back in the poll as the number 25 team. It's time to talk about the topic that has a lot of players and coaches holding their breath right now, the NCAA Tournament Bubble. These are the 10 teams that aren't worried as much about where they'll be playing as if they'll be playing. Clark, who jumps out at you there?
Oral Roberts should have a tough time getting a bid because there are just too many talented teams from the power conferences keeping them company on the bubble. We'll see, though.
You got that right, and who else might be in the same position?
Maryland should be considered among the best of the major conference teams not holding an automatic bid. But there are plenty of non-power conference teams knocking on the door that may prevent them from getting an invitation.
I'm sure it's been a long week for those teams, but the wait's almost over. The NCAA Selection Committee has finished its meeting, and we're ready to unveil the top 4 seeds in this year's tournament. The Providence Friars are the top overall seed, and they will play in the East Regional. The selection committee differed with the media on who the number 1 team in the country is, but the committee is the important one at this point, and we'll soon see if their faith in this team is warranted. On to the second number 1 seed, who will play in the South Regional. The Duke Blue Devils are seeking their 4th NCAA championship in school history. The Texas Longhorns are our 3rd number 1 seed, and they'll play in the Midwest Regional. They're back in the tournament again, and no doubt they'll be feeding off the experience of last year's appearance as they try to get to the Final Four this year. And finally, our 4th number 1 seed will play in the Phoenix Regional. The North Carolina Tar Heels are in the tournament field as a number 1 seed for the 11th time in the history of their program. Now, here's how the brackets shape up based on where the number 1 seeds have been assigned. In one national semifinal game, the winner of the East Regional will play the winner of the South Regional. In the other semifinal game, the winner of the Midwest Regional will play the winner of the Phoenix Regional. Those games will be played on Saturday, April 4th. Then it'll be on to the national championship game on Monday night, April 6th. Anything shocking to you about those picks?
Well, when you see the selection committee deviate from the top 4 teams in the media poll, it's a little surprising. They've opened themselves up to some criticism with these picks.
So, with the number 1 seeds out of the way, it's finally time to tackle the rest of the brackets. First up, we take a look at the East Regional. The Providence Friars are the top seed, finishing at 24-8. They were winners of the regular season championship in the Big East. They will take on the winner of the opening round play-in game between Mount St. Mary's with 14 wins and Mercer from the Atlantic Sun Conference. And now, the number 8 seed, the Arizona Wildcats, come into the tournament after finishing 2nd in their conference during the regular season and finished 2nd in their conference tournament. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the Arizona State Sun Devils, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 20-12. Villanova enters the field as the number 4 seed from the Big East. This will be their 29th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed, the New Mexico Lobos. Finished the season with 18 wins.
The Villanova Wildcats are going to provide serious matchup problems to any team that doesn't have depth and defensive ability at both guard spots. They have outstanding backcourt play at both ends of the court. It's the main reason they've made it this far, and they're going to have to maintain that form if they want to do some damage in this tournament.
Baylor comes in as the number 5 seed, finishing at 20-10. And they will take on the 12th seed from the A-10 Conference, the Xavier Musketeers, with 19 wins. Next up is the number 2 seed. The Syracuse Orange have established themselves as one of the best teams from the Big East. They'll be going up against the number 15 seed, the Evansville Purple Aces, with 17 wins. This is their 6th appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. Our number 7 seed is from the Big East. The Connecticut Huskies were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the Big Dance. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the UC Irvine Anteaters, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 24-6. Kansas comes in as the number 3 seed, finishing at 22-8. Stephen F. Austin comes in to face them at number 14 with 17 wins in the tournament championship of the Southland Conference. The UNLV Runnin' Rebels are in as the number 6 seed. They'll be taking on the number 11 seed, the Kentucky Wildcats, with 21 wins. There are going to be some incredible matchups in the later rounds of this bracket. If the top seeds can avoid the early upsets, we can look forward to some real heavyweight battles. Next up, we'll take a look at the South Regional. The Duke Blue Devils are the top seed, finishing at 23-8. They were winners of the regular season championship in the ACC. They'll take on the Coppin State Eagles, the number 16 ranked team. This marks their 4th appearance all time in the NCAA tournament. Air Force comes in as the number 8 seed, finishing at 20-9. Utah State comes in to face them at number 9 with 22 wins in the tournament championship of the WAC. Wisconsin comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 21-10. And they'll take on the 13th seed from the Metro Atlantic Conference, the Rider Broncs, with 19 wins. UTEP enters the field as the number 5 seed from Conference USA. This will be their 17th appearance all time in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 12 seed. The Missouri Tigers finished the season with 19 wins.
The Texas El Paso Miners will be an extremely dangerous team in this tournament, mainly because they have such terrific veteran leadership. Coaches love when they have guys on the floor that have been around the block a few times because they don't get rattled. They play with composure. I look at the experience of this team as something that could put them over the top.
Our number 2 seed is from the Big East. The Marquette Golden Eagles were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the Big Dance. They're going to play the number 15 seed, the Eastern Washington Eagles, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 16-12. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Minnesota Golden Gophers have established themselves as one of the best teams from the Big Ten. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles, with 21 wins. This will be their 5th appearance all time in the NCAA tournament. The Texas Tech Red Raiders are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Governors of Austin Peay, with 17 wins. And now the number 6 seed, the Nevada Wolfpack, come into the tournament after finishing 2nd in their conference during the regular season and were semifinalists in their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the East Carolina Pirates, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 19-9. What a tremendous regional final we'd have in this bracket if the number 1 and 2 seeds here make it through the first 3 rounds unscathed. That could be one of the games of the tournament. On to our 3rd bracket of the day. Let's take a look at the Midwest Regional. The Texas Longhorns are the top seed, finishing at 25-9. They finished 5th in the Big 12. They'll take on the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, the number 16 ranked team. This marks their 4th appearance all time in the NCAA tournament. Our number 8 seed is from the Big East. The West Virginia Mountaineers were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the Big Dance. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the Boston College Eagles, who were 6th in their conference, finishing at 18-12. James Madison enters the field as the number 4 seed from the Colonial Athletic Association. This will be their 5th appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed, the Maine Black Bears. Finished the season with 17 wins.
The James Madison Dukes have more to prove than any other team in this tournament. They haven't had a lot of experience in the tournament recently, so it's difficult to say exactly how they'll handle it. They've shown they're capable of playing with the best teams in the nation during the regular season. Now they need to show they belong with those teams come tournament time.
The Arkansas Razorbacks are in as the number 5 seed. They'll be taking on the number 12 seed, the Troy Trojans, with 22 wins. Gonzaga comes in as the number 2 seed, finishing at 26-4. St. Mary's comes in to face them at number 15 with 14 wins in the tournament championship of the West Coast Conference. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Washington State Cougars are the regular season champions from the Pac-10. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Maryland Terrapins. With 18 wins, they return once more to the very familiar surroundings of the NCAA tournament. And now the number 3 seed, the Oklahoma Sooners, come into the tournament after finishing second in their conference during the regular season and were losers in their first game at their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 14 seed, the Furman Paladins, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 16 and 13. UCLA comes in as the number 6 seed, finishing at 20 and 11. And they take on the 11th seed from the ACC, the Clemson Tigers, with 19 wins. I think this could wind up being the bracket that brings us this year's Cinderella story. A few of the higher seeds here have had terrific seasons, and I'll be surprised if at least one of them doesn't put together a long run in this tournament. And finally, let's have a look at the Phoenix Regional. The North Carolina Tar Heels are the top seed, finishing at 22 and 9. They finished third in the ACC. They'll take on the Red Hawks of Miami of Ohio, the number 16 ranked team. This will be their 17th appearance in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. Next up is the number 8 seed. The LSU Tigers have established themselves as one of the best teams from the SEC. They'll be going up against the number 9 seed, the Michigan Wolverines, with 19 wins. This will be their 17th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. Ohio State comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 22 and 9. IUPUI comes in to face them at number 13 with 20 wins in the tournament championship of the Mid-Continent Conference. Illinois comes in as the number 5 seed, finishing at 21 and 11. And they will take on the 12th seed from the Horizon League, the Butler Bulldogs, with 20 wins. Louisville enters the field as the number 2 seed from the Big East. It's yet another appearance in the brackets for a school that's no stranger to the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 15 seed, the Grambling State Tigers. Finished the season with 15 wins.
The Louisville Cardinals are a team that is just so powerful and strong up front. I would put their front court up against just about any other teams in the nation right now. It's always good to have strong guard play, but if you ask most coaches, I guarantee you they take the good big man over the good little man most times. Their interior play should serve them very well in this competition.
And now the number 7 seed, the Hawaii Warriors, come into the tournament first in their conference during the regular season and finish second in their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who were 6th in their conference, finishing at 19 and 11. The Miami Hurricanes are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Big Green of Dartmouth, with 16 wins. Our number 6 seed is from Conference USA. The Memphis Tigers were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the big dance. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Bucknell Bison, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 20 and 9. It's the first question every Selection Sunday: which is the toughest bracket? Well, this bracket looks to me like it wins that prize this year. Not only are the top seeds strong, the lower seeds can be dangerous as well. What are your thoughts on our top 16 seeds, Clark?
Maybe I haven't agreed with the selection committee every year, but I think they did a great job this time. The top 16 look just about right to me. Wisconsin is a team I wouldn't want to face, even though they're down there as a number 4 seed. I think they've got the potential to be a Cinderella team.
Now, let's bring the conference picture into focus. The Big East gets 7 teams. The Big 12 with 7, 6 out of the ACC. The Big 10 gets 5 teams.
It was really an up year for the teams in the WAC. They topped the non-power conferences with the number of bids they got, and it shows you how far this conference has come. They're becoming dominant at that level.
And let's not forget the teams out of the Mid-Continent. For a small conference, they competed at a very high level this year. Those teams could be the place to look if you're trying to find a Cinderella story in the tournament.
I'm surprised there were so few bids for the teams in the A-10. It was an especially disappointing year for that conference. Usually you can count on a few of the nation's elite teams coming out of there. But this was a season where very few of those teams could maintain any type of positive momentum.
We showed you the bubble teams before. Now that we know who's in and who's out, what do you think of the selections, Clark?
Oral Roberts did themselves a big favor with their hot finish. They were really on a roll, and the committee would much rather hand out bids to teams that are playing well now, not the ones that were hot in December.
While they start prepping for their first-round games, the 5 teams on the other side of the page will be full-time students again.
Duquesne can look back at their schedule this year if they're looking for a reason they got snubbed. They played very few difficult teams outside their conference, and the strategy backfired on them.
All right, Clark, now that we know all the teams and matchups, time to get the tournament underway and let the madness take over.
Greg, it's going to be a fantastic tournament. We've got an outstanding field and a lot of sensational players. I guarantee there are some memorable moments soon to come.
For my partner Clark Kellogg and for all of us here in the 2K Sports Studios, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thanks for joining us on the NCAA Selection Show, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. Enjoy all the excitement of the NCAA tournament.